じめまして、結城雪子と申します。今日はスタンレーパラブルっていうゲームをやっていきたいと思います。このゲームナレーターの言うことを無視してもいいし、言うこと聞いてもいいし、無視してもいいっていうゲームらしいので、とことん無視してみたいと思います。始めましょう。ネバーザエンドイズネバー、どっち？ザエンドイズネバー、どっちが先？
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
はい。
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
大きな建
Employee
物の
number
会社ってどういうこと？
427's job was simple. He sat at his desk
もっ
in
と
room
大企業
427
とかって言い
and
方
he
じゃない。
pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what
それだけで給
employee
料もらえるの？
427 did every
羨ましいんだ
day
けど。
of every month of every year.
私にも紹
And
介してほし
although
い。
others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly
まあ
for
転
this
職
job.
って人それぞれだしね。
And Stanley was happy.
それに幸せを
And
感
then
じるなら
one
いいんだ。いいん
day,
じゃな
something
いか
very
な。
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
前の席にね
Never
え
in
から
all
っ
his
てやつ
years
だ
at the
ね。
company had this happened.
理解。
This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
ああ、もう動けるんだね、これ。スタンリー君。いいの？本当に上司の言葉は聞かなくて。大佐よ、ほうれん草。でもね、やっぱたまには無視することも大切だと思うんだ。グッバイ。上司に会いに行きましょう。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
そうだね、誰もいなさそうだね。職場環境悪くない？すっごい集中できないでしょ、この配置。まあいいや、人の会社だからあんまり言わないね。ここも誰もいないね。汚な。5S 守られてないよ。全然あれだね、誰もいないね、本当に。酔いそうな人は私だけ見ててください。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
嘘でしょ？もう閉じ込められたの？絶対ドアの裏誰かいたでしょ？絶対入ってくれたの。おあいつ入ったぜみたいな感じで閉じ込めようとしてたでしょ。うわー、やることが汚い。で、なんでいたっけ？どっち行けばいい？どっち行けばいいんだっけ？あんま聞いてなかった。こっち行こう。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
そうだよ。そう、休憩したかったんだ。上司もいないし、今がチャンスかなって思って。そう、休憩したかったの。ただそれだけの理由。これかな、休憩室。
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
いや、全然心休まる気がしないよね。ここ休憩室なんだ。
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
うん。そう思うけどね。私もそう思うんだけど、なんかあまり
At
に
this
も
point,
電気
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
ものすごい煽ってくれやん。休憩してるって言ってたら休
Stanley
憩し
sat
てる。
around waiting for more dialogue.
私のこ
But
と
when
め
a
ちゃめ
long
ちゃ
time
煽る
had
じゃん。
passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
メタ発言。このゲームとか言っちゃうんだ。いきます。じゃあ。
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
戻れってこと？どうしようかな。戻ってほしいの？ね、仕事に戻ってほしい？ナレーターさん、戻ってほしい？やだー、絶対にやだー。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
すっごい煽ってくるね。これ乗ればいい？乗ろうか。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
誰だって？彼女？
This is it,
私彼女い
Stanley.
るの？
Your chance to redeem
やっ
yourself.
た！
To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
さすがに待ってないんじゃない？ここには。ここで待たしてる私だとしたら相当ちょっとね、言葉に詰まっちゃうね。うわ。
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
取る？なんかコードあるよ。なんか抜けんのかな？
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope.
はい、残
Hope
念。
for
そ
a
のル
life
ート潰し
reunited
ま
one.
した。
Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
はい、切っちゃい
No,
ま
that
し
wasn't
た。
supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually
あ、そうなの？
chose
想
incorrectly.
定してなかった？
I didn't even
ごめ
know
んね。
that was possible.
ご
Let
めん
me
ね。
double check.
頑張って。
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music
Ay,
comes
ending
in,
na.
fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything.
いや、た
I
だ
don't
ただ言うこと
understand.
聞くのが嫌
How
な
on
だけ
earth
だ
are you
った。
making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
実在する人間で。
I can't
って言われる
believe
と
I was
私
so
もちょっとバーチャルな
mistaken.
身だか
This
ら
is
な
why
んと
you've
も言
been
えない
able
け
to
ど。
make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
はい。
Choice. It's the best part of this time. Your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
はい。頑張ります。
Welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
壊しちゃった。私は悪くないと思うんだけどな。正しい選択をしろって言うんでしょ。だって。乗るの
？Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality. 行きましょう。さっきのとこ戻るのかな。長い。さっきの休憩室。 Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real
言うこ
world.
と聞くになるの嫌だな。できればもう少し逆らっていたい。小さな反抗心。
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
じゃあね、やっぱナレーターさんがね、ここまでやってくれて、そこまで言うんだったら分かったよ。右です。
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
バグってる。もう戻れないです。戻るしかない。もうこっちが正しいんでしょ。
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
やばい、これナレーターさん激おこですね。ごめんなさい。そんな怒る？
I'm here. I'm still here in this pile of rubbish, with you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child.
ものすごい怒ってるじゃん。
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
あれ?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All all right. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
じゃあちょっと左進むね。分かった。さすがにちょっと2ドア結構怖かったしね。これでいいんでしょう。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
こっちは何？開かない。ここは？ダメ？こっち？
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
何もできないよ。ナイトシャック115。何かしらの反応欲しいな。
Stanley spoke the code.
赤字で。
Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
ナイトシャック115。聞こえてますか？
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
私は喋るけど、スタリン君が喋れないんだって。なんかスタリン君喋って。
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it. But you know what?
やってたじゃん。
It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door. Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose.
どういうこと？
Anything.
だから
This is more important.
私が無視しすぎたから
I need this.
私はスタンリー君じゃなくて
So,
私自身
Are you there? You're listening to this?
っていうことだよね。スタンリー君が話聞いてくれたのに、
It's okay, I can wait.
私は
You need time
無
to
視し続けたから、
Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best
じゃあ
choice.
プレイヤー側なんだよってこと？
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do.
終わっちゃった。
Take as much time as you need.
残念でしたね。私が言うことを聞いてればよかったんですか？はい、ということでスタンリーパラボルちょっとだけゲームしてみました。ナレーターさんの言うことやっぱり無 視しちゃいけません。皆さんも頭の中にこうナレーターさんが出てきたらそれ通りに進みましょう。多分進まなかったらものすごい怒られます。はい、結城ゆき子でした。バイバーイ。